Hey guys. Ooh, that's my toast. This is going to be the start of my November vlog, even though it's the 30th of October today, but I just feel like starting it today because it's Saturday and I apparently feel more talkative than I have in a long time. It's my mum's birthday today, so we're going to go later on to celebrate that with her at a barbecue at her house, and also my sister's birthday, which was 8 days ago. I have two sisters and a mum and a dad, but my eldest sister's birthday is on the 14th of October, and then my youngest sister's birthday is 8 days later, and then my mum's birthday is 8 days after that. So it's crazy how the timing worked with all that stuff, but we're going to go spend time with her and that kind of thing. But this morning is really nice because I am home alone, which is really good because man, oh man, have we been busy and crazy, and it is just so lovely. Not that I love Daniel. It's just really nice to be in the house by myself because I'm an introvert, and it is nice to just be all by myself for the first time in like a long time. So that's really good. He's having to do a work job today, which he wasn't very happy about, but he got put up for it, so he's going to do that. And Saturday rates are always good, so that's all right. I'll make sure he can relax on Sunday. But the main thing, so we had his Daniel's sister's wedding, so my sister-in-law's wedding last weekend, so that's been really, really busy. I've also been doing lots of crazy stuff at work. We are opening a new store, but it's like a different brand to where I currently work. It's like a franchise that we've bought, and it's really fun, but it needs a lot of training because I'll be managing the admin side of things for that store, but it's totally different. So it's just been really intense, as well as doing all of the work for my normal job still and catching up and everything like that. So it's just been really crazy. And probably the other insane thing, which if you're like looking at this vlog, you'll already know because I will have talked about it when we are telling people, and that will be pretty soon, hopefully. But I am pregnant. So that is really exciting, but it can be really time consuming as well. I am like 10 weeks and a few days today, so it's really early days. There's like nothing to see here yet, so there's nothing exciting like that to see yet. But we have seen an ultrasound, so that was really cool. We got to see like a picture, and like the heartbeat's all normal and everything like that. But I have been not super bad nausea, which is really good. If I don't eat, then I feel like crap, and it's good to eat anyways. I'm someone who will always sort of bird eat, but I really struggled to decide what I wanted to eat around like weeks like 6 to like 9, and that was really difficult. And so like I didn't know what to eat, so then I would kind of delay eating, and then I would feel sick, and then I would not want to feel like eating. So that was really, really shitty, but I've kind of got it worked out. That's what my toast is for this morning, to eat, obviously. That's been sort of really crazy, and I've been tired, so still like working full time, and then I've been coming home and sleeping a lot. Some weeks seems to be better than others. Like I don't know whether I get better rest some days than others, and therefore I don't need to nap for like the entire evening and then go to bed and sleep the entire night. But that's what this week has been like, so it's been a bit crazy. But this morning I have been doing research into nappies, which is kind of like just all this stuff to learn. Like I kind of expected that I was going to do a lot more reading at this stage. I thought I was going to be reading, because I was doing a lot of research into like before pregnancy, and I was doing a lot of research because I just wanted to, before like we were ready to start trying, I was ready and I just wanted to feel like we were doing something. So I was trying to do a lot of research into like how to like make your body as healthy as possible before you conceive. And then I thought as soon as we did, I would jump straight into pregnancy books, which I haven't read. I'm sort of not really, I don't know, I'm not really that worried about the pregnancy. It's just more like the baby stuff, because nobody else close to me has babies, so I literally have not been around babies to know anything. So that's a bit scary. I feel like maybe now that it's sort of being a bit more real and we're sort of coming, like in a couple of weeks, we'll be out of the first trimester, which means the rate of miscarriage will severely drop. We'll be out of it by the time that you guys see this, because it's November and I'm like 10 in a few days already. We'll have passed that milestone by the time that you guys see this video. And I feel like at that point, maybe I'll start to do a lot more research because it'll be real. And I'm just kind of not wanting to get my hopes up that everything's like gonna be okay yet. So I haven't really been thinking too much about a lot of stuff, but I feel like I'm definitely going to be doing a lot of audiobooks on what to do when the baby is here. I don't know why, but the pregnancy stuff doesn't seem to worry me as much. Like I felt, you know, different things that I'm not used to. Had a few like little, I wouldn't really call them cramps, but like waves of like tugging or like a little bit of pain around like my abdomen, but like really brief, fairly light, and like no bleeding. So that was all good, but that did kind of worry me, and I had a Google, so I don't know, like I remember when one of my sort of friends at the time, more acquaintances, when she was pregnant, because she had a baby around like 18 or 19, she was sort of hadn't done any research, and I remember kind of thinking a bit like, oh, like, you know, you haven't read any books? And she was like, oh, you know, my mum and like my aunties have done this before, and it's like, you know, that's totally valid. I didn't really get it at the time, and sometimes it can be really overwhelming to do research when you're not ready to. So I'm definitely going to be doing some, because that's what I'm like, but it's more going to be about like how to get through labor and birth, and then how to deal with this baby that we don't know anything about dealing with them. I don't feel as worried about pregnancy as I thought I would be before I was. So there's my update for you, all of you guys, and I will hopefully check back in soon. As I said, November vlog, but this is the 30th of October, and hopefully it's going to be a good month that's coming up. Hey guys, it's the next day, Sunday the 31st of October, which is officially Halloween. Not that I'm really doing much aside from reading those graphic novels. We did have a Halloween party, I think last year or the year before, but that's because it fell on a Saturday, so it's a bit hard when it's Sunday. So all of you guys still trick or treat even on a Sunday? Like, do you stay up late before school or work, all that kind of stuff? I just really wanted to come in here and chat, and being outside felt like the nicest place to be doing this. I just need to kind of digest something shit that sort of happened in my personal life, and you know, these vlogs are all about personal stuff, so that's what we're doing here. As I told you guys in my last update, I'm pregnant, and we had my sister-in-law's wedding previous weekend, and when we'd told both of our parents and both of our siblings, so the sister-in-law that was getting married knew beforehand, because I didn't really want to get any pressure from people that we were going to be sort of close to around like the events. Like I had the hens night to go to and the wedding, and I didn't want to get pressure from people that why I wasn't drinking. I wish I had just not told them and just said that I was either like driving or not feeling well or something like that, because it kind of blew up in our face. I feel like this has just been a whole big lesson in the fact that you can't do a lot about what people say about you and what others think. You can kind of just control how you react to it and how you let it feel. That being said, I've cried the most like over these past 12 hours that I have in like a long time, and I'm someone who cries a lot, so that's kind of saying something. But basically, so I wore a dress to the wedding that it wasn't tight fitting like bodycon or anything like that, but it wasn't something that like was really loose and ballooned out under my bust. So you could see like a bit of my figure, but like I was only 9 weeks at this point. I wasn't showing. I have like a little bit of lower belly fat that I've always had, and apparently there were some guests at the wedding that decided that it was appropriate to make comments that I like whether I was pregnant, because apparently I was showing. And that's sort of really like, sorry, I'm not really looking at the camera a lot because it's still kind of something that has really upset me, but it just makes me so angry that people and like society in general think that it's okay to make those assumptions about people, that it's okay to ask those questions and say those things. Oh my god, stop. Your Mr. Comedic Relief. I have like this sitting up against a park bench, and Cooper just lifted his leg and like peed, not on my phone, but like on the bench that my phone's propped up on, so that's funny. But I just, I'm so angry about everything. Like I've never felt, not everything, like I'm happy about the baby, and like Daniel's totally been supporting me with all this stuff. Like he's really like annoyed at everybody as well, and we really just wanted to go and have a nice time, and to not say anything just makes me so angry that like people think it's okay to comment on your body and to ask you why you're not drinking and all these like make all these insinuations just because I'm married. Sorry, Coop's wanting to explore, but I can't let him go because he'll like, I'm in a park, so he'll run away. Is it different where you live? Are people less nosy? That would be so nice to know. So shit, and I was really hoping for a relaxing weekend this weekend to recover from like the weekend and all the social stuff because I'm an introvert, and it just hasn't, it hasn't happened. So I decided to walk Mr. Coop. But anyways, I'm gonna go because it's like been 9 minutes now. Hopefully that was a bit of interesting drama. Someone's coming for a walk now, and I am going to take this pupper on the second half of our walk and go home. But thank you so much for listening. Bye. Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, the 2nd of November. It's Melbourne Cup Day. For those of you who don't know, every year Victoria, Australia holds the biggest horse race in Australia called the Melbourne Cup. It's like the biggest and the hardest and the longest, and Victorians get a public holiday. We don't. New South Wales, sad. But they say like it's the race that stops the nation, and like Nelly literally, yeah. So we'll be doing an office sweep, which will be fun. I'll let you know if I win anything. I wanted to tell you guys a good family thing that happened on Daniel's side after the doom and gloom on the weekend. We went and told one of his aunts that he's really close to, and uncles, but like it's his uncle by marriage, aunt by blood, and their 3 daughters who are all sort of, they're all ranging from high school age. And it was really cute because the 2 youngest, when we said something, they just like engulfed me in like a hug together. It was really adorable, and it was nice because we kind of got like, on Daniel's side of the family, we got the first like proper excitement, no need to worry about anybody else. We're hoping to I'm 11 weeks today, and the only thing that I'm worried about telling the general public about is that we're waiting on these test results to sort of tell us if everything's gone okay and formed okay, and I don't want to like announce and get excited with everybody if it turns out things haven't. So I'm just gonna stop to brush my teeth. I have my appointment on Friday afternoon at like 4, so that I don't have to take much time off work. That will tell us that, and it's not like there will still be risks throughout pregnancy, obviously, in childbirth and stuff. Like there's no guarantee that people will survive, but I sort of wanted to not like get all excited with people when I knew that these results are coming up. But just because of all the drama on the weekend, Daniel has like a work meeting with everybody. It'll be around 3 o'clock on Friday, so like the timing is just a bit shit. And because of like how my work schedule is at the moment, I couldn't have the appointment in the morning and then tell him everything was okay. But because of how like shitty things are gone, I've just said just tell them. Like I was a bit resistant to that because like I said, I didn't really want to get excited with everybody and then no, actually this isn't viable or something like that. But I really felt like he needed that. Like we've had a really good time now with this aunt, but I feel like after having to stress so much about other people instead of just being excited about this, I really wanted to like give him this as well. He'll be telling people his work on Friday, and then just fingers crossed everything's like okay. And I'm hoping because we've had this shit to deal with that we've had like all the bad luck at the moment, I guess, and that there will be nothing else. Surely we can't have gone through all of this for the baby to not be okay. I'm a bit 50-50 on whether I will say anything on Friday. Like, depends, I guess, on whether people kind of tease me about why why I have an appointment, because I've been going to a lot of those and everybody's really nice, and I told my boss, but that we weren't telling anyone. And he was, you know, really supportive and excited for me and stuff like that. Main person that needs to worry about me skipping work for no reason has told. But even, like, you know, your teammates notice. And so this week it's going to grow to the size of a kiwi because I'm in week 11. But I shall go because that's all that I really need to do in the bathroom, and I'm probably running late for getting ready for work. Bye. Hey guys. Sorry for the not so much of a change of scenery. I think the last time I filmed was in the bathroom. Hopefully I will actually buy a picture to put up there so you guys will have something nice to look at. But it is Friday the 5th of November. I think this is actually my first November entry, and I wanted to talk about the fact that my morning has gone a bit haywire and I'm not very motivated, so this is kind of motivating me to get ready. And I knew that I wouldn't be motivated the second that I picked up what I was going to pick up, and that was one of my manuscripts. So depending on how long you've been following me and how much, like, you've seen my videos, you may or may not know that I've written in the past. I've written fiction, and I was really hell-bent on it from... I wrote a lot in high school between... I first penned my manuscript in year 8 or 9 or something, did it on and off, and then I was like so hell-bent on it when I left school, and that's what I wanted to do, and that's what I would tell people, that I wanted to be an author. But stuff happened and I sent it off and I got a rejection, and, like, you know, it was never good enough, and I still don't think it's good enough and that kind of thing, and got some edits done and all this. Like, I'll leave a link to my writing journey if you would like to see that. It's an old video, but it gives a really good summary. And I don't know, a couple years ago I decided that I didn't want to write anymore, that I don't know, I just wasn't prioritizing it. Like, we've only all got a certain amount of time in the day, and I just didn't want to do it anymore. So I didn't, and I found it really freeing just to be a reader, and I just didn't write anymore. I always wondered whether I would come back to it because I really enjoyed doing it, and I've always really loved my characters. The only manuscripts that I've finished have been with these characters, and I'd sort of planned a 4-part series with then like a prequel book, and it was just one of those things where I stopped doing it. I do have a good idea for another book, a VR sort of based world one in the future that I think will be really good one day. But it's sort of like I've never been able to move on from these characters, and they always tell you your first book is probably not going to be published. It takes probably about 3 books to actually be a decent enough author, that your work is good enough that someone will pick it up for submission if you're going the traditional route, which is what I always wanted to do. And I believed that, and I do believe that, but I can't, like I've never been able to let go of these characters. Like, the love that I feel for them is just crazy. And I've written the first manuscript, revised it like 1,000,000 times, and I've written the entire second in the series, and I have outlines for the next ones that are probably going to completely change, because even though I think for me the character relationships are what keeps me coming back more than the plot needs like a lot of work. And it's been really difficult because it's like a new adult-ish book, and I started writing it after I'd read Twilight, and it was very sort of heavy influenced on Twilight, and there's like a love triangle, even though like Ivor was always very much she's not in the love triangle, it's just this guy that won't let her go is pursuing it. But, you know, as I'm getting older and I'm not 16 anymore, I kept aging up the characters, but then there was still like shapeshiftery things, and it was very much just, it didn't fit anywhere. And it like very overdone. If I had published it and written and published it when like Twilight and all the paranormal romance come up, it would have been fine. But we've moved on from that. And I know that they say don't write the market, but I've also kind of moved on from it. And I think as well, if it was a good enough story and a strong enough plot, I would have been able to still publish it, even though we have moved on from Twilight a bit. So that would have made it harder. If it was strong enough and fresh enough and original enough, even though I know nothing's original, but if I had spun it enough, then it would have been fine. But I've always known that it's not been strong, and I've always struggled a lot with synopsises. And if you're someone that's ever tried to write a synopsis, it's really hard. Even when you're doing a 2-page one, it's basically like an extended blurb on the back of your book, depending on who you're sending it to based on their rules. Some agents / publishers want to know like the entire ending, and so it's like a 2-page summary of what happens throughout the book. Some just want like a little blurb, like the hook that you read on the back of the book. So, and that's really hard to do. But all of my stuff, like it's sort of like paranormal romance, but like the paranormal elements would always come in like way later in the book. And even though I think it ends really interestingly, there's a lot of stuff at the beginning, like it's slow or not, like I never really had a solid plot for the beginning part of it, but I couldn't just chop it off and start it there because there was setup stuff. So it's just not, it was never really, the plot was never workable. It's more the relationships with the characters and the emotions that I've held on to for so long. And I'm 26 now. How old was I when I was in year 8 or 9? Like 14. So that's like 11 years that I've like held on to these characters because I love them so much. What I struggle with a lot as well is that I love romance. And so for me, like a book will be very heavy around romance, and I've always struggled a lot to find the right market. And having a TBR that I wanted to finish as well didn't really help, because if you want to be an author, you need to kind of read widely and work out where your book fits in the market and stuff like that. So I just kind of been busy this morning doing all that kind of research, trying to work that out again, because I think I do want to start writing again. And a couple of months ago, I had this idea for the book and how to change it a bit, but still kind of, because I've bounced back and forth being like, do I do a historical thing? Because like the tropes and the themes of it is sort of like freedom and being forced to sort of be with someone that you don't want to be with. And then I was like, well, that still happens this day. It's not like a historical thing, but I'm not over in one of those countries where that happens, so I don't really want to write about it because it's not, I wouldn't be in own voices. I would be completely making it up. I haven't even traveled to that kind of stuff, so I don't really want to do that. I'd rather still just write from the perspective of a white person, because I have like no intention of pretending that I know what it's like to be someone of a different culture when I don't at all. And it's just, I don't know, I've had a bit of an idea that I would have to like completely rework everything and think of things, which I would have had to do anyways if I want it to be published traditionally and get it accepted. But I'm kind of thinking, instead of having like the fantasy paranormal elements as shapeshifters, to completely jump into the fantasy realm, have them be elementals. And I really love elemental magic. I think it's really fun. So I'm gonna do that. I just gotta kind of work out how the plot like plays together, and I need to read like a bunch of adult fantasy with characters that are in like their early to late 20s and find out how this book would be marketed. Even though you should still write the book that you want to write, but I also still need to know where it is going to fit into the market in this current time. Probably in America, because Australia, like, I don't know, I don't really kind of want to put it into new adult, because I would like to think that because new adult, for at least for Australia, is still paranormal romance with dickhead guys that just want to like use you, and that are like alpha males and that treat you really shitty, and that's like not, and they're like very heavily shapeshifters. So I'm really hoping that shifting across to elemental, even though the characters are going to be in like their 20s, I might sort of even age them up again and have them be in their you know, instead of being like 2021, I might make them a bit like 23, 24-ish and see how we go from there. So there is my writing update to all of you lovely people, and I will talk to you guys in my next update because I really need to get ready for work. Bye. So also, oh, that is a bit of a, do you have any recs for me? If you have read any really good fantasies, doesn't matter if they're elemental or whatever fantasies they've got, because the hard thing as well is I've got it set in like a normal world where like they hide their elemental magic. So if you've got any fantasies, preferably in the real world, that they like are hidden from the rest of the humans, then let me know with characters under 30. I would really, really love to start reading a whole slew of those books. I feel like that's what I'm interested in now as well, for fun, but also for writing research. So send me some recommendations, please. Oh, also another, this is like PPS. I have a doctor's appointment today, which is very exciting because hopefully if the doctor says that everything's going okay, then we can start to tell everybody, which is going to be really exciting, to tell everybody the news and not have to be lying about it, which is fine. It's like one of the like most socially accepted things for lying about, but it's still hard because I don't like lying about things, and I want to get excited with everybody, but I've just been scared that we haven't like had good news. So I am hopefully that we're going to get an A-OK from these tests that we've been doing, and then we will be able to tell everybody, which will be very exciting. So I will talk to you guys again later on the Savo when I have been to my doctor's. Hey guys, it's the same day again. It's about lunchtime, so I'm just quickly updating you guys. I was doing a lot of writing thinking on the way down. Apparently I'm chatting today, but I have basically come up with a bit of a plot idea thing, which is 100% different, but I'm excited. So I don't know if I'll start doing any work on that over the weekend, because basically the entire book needs to be rewritten, and the rest of the entire series. But I'm excited about it, and I feel I need to read more widely in adult fiction, because at the moment I feel like it's original, but who would know? So to that end, I was having a bit of a frustrating day at work, and I decided to buy a book, and I got The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. I was listening to a video this morning on new adult books to try and work out where I'm going to be, but I kind of figure, at least in Australia, so far my research is telling me that I should be able to fit this into adult fantasy just with younger people, and apparently The Bone Season has got characters that are under 30 in it, so I'm interested to read this. And it also, a lot of the stuff on the back seems like similar to my ideas, like not, you know, it's not elementals and not so similar that it's like I'm plagiarizing it, but some of the themes and stuff, which will be really good to sort of start to read, and like nothing is original or anything like that, so I'm pretty excited about that. But I was thinking so much about my book that one, I went to reverse out of my driveway and did it so wrong that I had to drive back up and then reverse again. And then I drove to the wrong workplace today. So I kind of become a dead woman walking when I'm thinking about my book, which I don't exactly want to happen, but I'm kind of excited to have something for like car drives to think about. So who knows? I'm thinking I'll write on the weekend and get some of this stuff out, but I feel excited about it, and I will let you guys know. He's playing with a lizard, and I can see that it's where it snuck. Oh, there he goes. I could see it in the grass when he was looking for it. I always forget to watch Coop play in the garden. To tell you the truth, I don't spend a lot of time out here yet because it's sort of a bit of work in progress. But when I get out here, especially in the summertime, or spring at the moment, I love it. Did you get it? hanging out washing at the moment. But it is quite a construction zone here. Sort of slowly working on things, and I'm just trying to sort of appreciate being outside a bit more, which I haven't been, even though I love the outdoors, but I'm such an indoor person too.